Welcome to another episode of Botox and Burpees. I'm here with superstar coach Keith Andrews. This is part of the Bison 15 series where we are talking to people from CrossFit Bison. And Keith is the brightest shining star at CrossFit Bison at this point. He
Wow.
is one of the newest coaches, but one of the most beloved coaches in a really short time span. And today, the topic that we're going to talk about is what does CrossFit need to do to get back to its 2018 self? Really amazing topic, and I think it's something that is well worth spending a little bit of time talking about and analyzing. So, Keith, take it away.
Yeah. So I started CrossFit. I wasn't part of the original run up of CrossFit. I would like you were CrossFit. Sam, when did you start
20
CrossFit?
like 14ish, yeah.
Okay. So things were definitely trending upward at that point, pretty fast and
Yeah.
furious.
Yeah.
So before getting into the things that I think that CrossFit can do and things that we can do to get back to that, I do think that Bison does a lot of these already. And I do truly believe if there were 10,000 CrossFit Bisons worldwide, CrossFit would have a much different story right now.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
And Dave would love that too, actually.
yeah. And he's the owner of all of them. So he has to be
That's
all
right.
of them.
Yeah, that's right. He has to be at everyone.
So a context of kind of where my ideas stem from, I have a team first background, inherently. I pretty much chose the college I went to based on where I could win a national championship. So there was no NIL at the time. There was no athlete endorsement. It was about winning, and the entire team was bought into that. So now being part of CrossFit, who from 2011 to 2018 was trending up and to the right every year, but now, it's not. CrossFit's no longer winning. They're no longer in the driver's seat like they were. And quite frankly, it kind of pisses me off. Being someone that just cares about winning and seeing the team succeed. One of the best atmospheres I've been in is the college weight room, the team lift environment where it's loud music, a lot of testosterone in one room, but it's a bunch of guys who care about winning and accomplishing a goal together. And if you show up hungover or not ready to go, you're hurting the people around you from achieving that goal. You're not just hurting yourself, you're hurting other people because they're trying to achieve something together with you. So getting back to CrossFit, I think people are quick to blame CrossFit HQ and leadership for where CrossFit is trending. And rightfully so, probably. There's been a lot of changes. There's been a lot of maybe questionable decisions. But I think we as affiliates should look in the mirror a little bit more often to try to, tighten things up and get things trending where we want them to trend, not, waiting for HQ to kind of fix things. So how do we make CrossFit athletes feel like they're in it together? Like they're trying to do something together. And coaches play a huge part in creating this culture. They are I think the coaches are the most important part of an affiliate. At the whiteboard talk, make goals for the class to accomplish something together that day. An example of this could be winning today looks like every person here hitting the same stimulus. So if you choose to go too heavy and not hit the intended stimulus, not only did you miss the point of the workout, but now the class didn't achieve the goal that you set out for them. You hurt the class. And the idea of most of my ideas for the fix are more trying to get people to think together. When you go to the gym, you're trying to do something with the class. I'm not just going there to, get my work in and get out. And I think if we can get more along thinking together, that's more so what's going to help CrossFit.
I love that team concept. The first thing I want to do before you keep going is I want you to give a shout out. You might be the only guy or athlete, period, at the gym, guy or girl, who's won a national championship in college, I think. Give a shout out to your team, and what year did you guys win?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 2015 Cortland. We won, yeah, Division 3 national championships.
It's pretty amazing. So I love that team concept. I love the fact that coaches are integral to the affiliate, to making that class feel like it's a team concept. Um, so keep going with that with the coaches.
But yeah, and it's why Hero Week is so great at the gym and it has such a great atmosphere. Like we're working out to honor someone. We're not thinking about ourselves and our performance. It's something bigger than all of us, and it's why the Open is so great. For 3 weeks we're all doing something together, but it's only 3 weeks out of the year, and I think we need to create more of these moments throughout the year. Um, you know, Coaches working out in classes have a huge role in creating the culture as well. Um, Classes should start and end together. That's how I feel. And there used to be a poster or a board in Bison, and it had like the rules of the gym. Um, and it said on it, like one or two was like no cleaning up your weights or equipment until everyone is done. And like, I don't know where that board went, but like, it kind of bothers me when I see people like cleaning up before people are done. Like how I think about it is like we are not done yet. Like as a group, we're not done yet. Um, and like I saw Coach Liz yesterday, actually after the skills class, and she was so excited about how it went. She was like, her and Adam were just like so excited, and like she said, it felt like old Bison, how like people would stop their workout to cheer someone else on, and like my question is, why is that old Bison? Like, why is that an old Bison thing, and why did that stop? And I think it does happen still, but like, it almost made me like sad. Like that's how old Bison was, but it's not how, current Bison is. So I think, the coaches showing how the culture should be, not just telling people like coaches in classes are so important to showing what the culture should be. um,
So along that line, so I mean, sometimes like if it's an AMRAP, for example, and I'm just talking logistically, it's very simple for everyone to finish at the same time because everyone's working for a certain time. But there are certainly a lot of workouts where people are finishing at different times, and really good athletes obviously might finish 5 or even more minutes before somebody else finishes. Um, what do you do as a coach to help to try to encourage, or what can we all do as coaches to help to try to encourage that sense of togetherness mindset and, oh, I just killed my workout. I'm done.
yeah. You know what? I think even like bringing it up at the whiteboard, like, hey, there's going to be people in this workout, and there are certainly workouts where like someone crush like the freaks of the gym, which there are plenty at Bison. They're going to finish this one in like 7 minutes. There will be people finishing this one at like 20 minutes, and there's going to be a huge gap. And like I think it's good to bring it up at the whiteboard where like if you're done with your workout, you know, please don't clean up. It can kind of it's just a vibe killer for someone that's still working out and trying to like, if you're trying to finish your workout and you look over and everyone's finishing their like they're cleaning up, they're kind of giving their scores and walking out. It's like, oh, great. It's just like it kind of kills your vibe. So I think, letting them know like in those specific workouts, maybe give like a heads up, like, hey, just, if you have to get out, I get it. Just let me know your score and I'll clean up your weights after you, like after class is done. But I don't know, just cleaning up weights before people are done just bothers me. I don't know, it just kills me. I don't know
Mm.
why.
No, I get that. And it just feels like you're not part of the class anymore, right? Like class should be done, but you suck so bad that you're still like grinding at the end. And I've certainly been there. Um, I don't love it when people are sitting there cheering me when I'm the last person to finish. I do appreciate it. I would ask that people actually not do it though if you see me doing that. But I agree. I think the finishing, cleaning up and like talking and just like not actually feeling like class is still going is a tough one for a lot of athletes. And I agree, it doesn't feel like a win for you, even though you might be doing great in your own workout. You're right, it does take away from that sort of team feel, the group feel, and a winning feel. So I agree with you. Keep
Right.
going. What else?
So people want to feel like they belong. And like anytime they join a gym, that's like, yes, they want a place where they can get fit and get healthy and like get things on track, but they want to feel like they belong somewhere. So I think it's good to encourage like the different class identities that we have at Bison. Like people are proud to be 6 a.m.ers and they love being part of the stable boys or the dog pound or the puppy pound, whatever they call themselves. But so like maybe having more events that will encourage people to have pride in the class they go to. Or like if you have 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. compete against each other in a week, like who will have higher attendance this week, 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. And like it kind of, it's like you're celebrating like we wins instead of just like performance. So trying to create those moments where people are starting to think like more together and more about the group at large instead of just I get my workout in, I go home. I think that's important. And a lot of these are like we're trying to create something together. Like, or you could do a challenge where like an entire gym challenge where like, for example, if in December, we had 105 people on Built by Bison. And, the challenge is we're going to be, in July, we're going to try to beat that. So make sure you play your part and get to the gym. Make sure you get here 15 times. And we're going to do this together. Like, I think encouraging moments like that is what will create a culture where if every gym, every affiliate starts thinking that way, Sam, you did CrossFit in 2018. How did people, outsiders looking in at CrossFitters, what did they describe CrossFitters as? Like they just talk about it. Like what's like the word that they use? They called it a cult. Yes. And like it just like why was it that way? Like they were all kind of like, you know, well, I'll ask you, like what did the 2018 vibe of CrossFit have that made it explode like it did?
I think we were really proud at that time. We we had such a good sense of community, as you mentioned. I think we were so excited at that time to uh, keep getting better, to keep pushing. I think social media really helped. Like we saw so much about CrossFit, like if you were into that, and we were very, very together as a gym. I would agree with that. I think the sense of encouragement and working together uh, was very palpable at that time.
Yeah, I'm like, I would love to create that again. And like, I guess that's the goal of, my topic today was how can we, not just wait for CrossFit HQ to whatever, come up with a great marketing plan to get more people, to get more and kind of take it amongst ourselves as affiliates to start, you know, building something that each affiliate can work on, creating a togetherness. Like CrossFit uses the word community like a ton. During the open, that's all you hear is community, community, community. But like, what does it actually mean? How do you make a community? How do you make community better? And I think that, these points are things that we can make the community feel like how it was in 2018 or better. Um, so I tried to keep my points at 15 minutes, and I think it wasn't bad.
I love that. Let me pick your brains. We're gonna probably run a little over 15 because I want to pick your brains a little bit more about this. So, um, I agree with you that coaches are extremely critical in terms of an affiliate's culture, what drives community. And I agree, CrossFit Bison does a great job with their coaching and what they do. I would say you have you've had a meteoric rise as a coach. I remember, how long have you been coaching for at this point?
A little over, well, I guess 2.5 years, I think, two and a
Yeah.
half.
And I think probably clearly one of the best coaches out there, certainly one of the most beloved coaches. I don't think I've heard a single person who hasn't taken one of your classes just rave about how good of a coach you are. So let's break that down in terms of what you do as a coach, and maybe we can apply a little bit of that to this. So when you first started as a coach, um, what have you learned, or what was the most important skill that you picked up uh, that might be relevant to this topic in terms of building a sense of team or culture in your classes?
Well, first of all, thank you for the compliment. And second, I think it was less so about like coaching and cueing and more so just flat out like if someone walks in, you treat them how you would treat your brother or your sister or your mom or your dad. And if you treat people like that, it makes them feel like, okay, like this is kind of a family here. And like, when you're treated like that, you'll treat someone else like that as well. And like when your relationships with people are that close and that, bonded together, that's a community. So I think just making sure like you treat people how you would treat your family. And if I can, talk to everyone how I would talk to those people, and I promise I speak to them nicely, even my brothers. um, that's what forms a community. Honestly, that's the most important part of like when I go to coach. It's yes, I want them to get better and become better athletes, but like I want them to feel like they belong and that they like feel like a family and a community here.
Do you feel that the coaches outside of coaching play a role in terms of the gym's culture? Like, for example, when you take a class, when you are present, how do you, or are you just another athlete that's just taking the class? Do you feel there is some sort of added responsibility when you're actually not coaching at the gym?
Yeah, I think there's definitely days where you kind of just want to get your workout in and just be like an athlete that day, but I do think that coaches should be the epitome of what Bison culture should be. And like that's something that they should never take a day off from doing, even when they're not coaching that day. Um, so like I mentioned, like cleaning up your weights, waiting for everyone to be done, cheering people on, like how you want the culture should to be. That's how the coaches should act on a daily basis, whether they're coaching or not, whether they're just working out. Like if someone new walked in, they should look at like if Coach Liz was working out that day. If they watched Coach Liz work out that day, they should be like, okay, that is what the culture here is how how this coach is acting in class working out. It is a big responsibility because, you're not working that day, but you do have a big responsibility to create the culture that you want the gym to have.
How do you keep it lighthearted? You are someone who thinks of things that sort of keep the workouts positive. I think the biggest feedback that I got from a lot of athletes, and they even gave you a little memento, were the Keith's keys, where you started basically writing what you thought were some of the important parts of a workout, and you called it Keith keys. And I think, was it the 5 a.m.ers who gave you like actual keys?
Yeah, yeah, magnetic keys.
Yeah. So what is that? Like, how does a coach come up with that sort of thing?
I guess it stemmed from like just I think as I was like, you know what? I had the year end meeting with Liz, which like all of our coaches meet with Liz to do like an evaluation. And she kind of gave like what do you think you need to do better at? And I thought my thing was I need to do a better job explaining what I think like the stimulus of the workout is and like some important parts that they should know about it. And so I wrote on the whiteboard one day after that, like a key to the workout. And then I forget who, but someone, maybe it was like Rafi, and he wrote, "This is Keith's key." And like, that's kind of where it stemmed from. And I haven't stopped doing it. But like, I don't know. I just think like if they can see something, I like a lot of times I'll notice that people will after class be like, one of that key that you had up there, that key, not key. was like I was thinking about the entire workout. And like sometimes it's nice to think about something that's not just like I'm just like suffering right now because it's so easy to get into those mindsets sometimes. Um, whatever it is, like I can't even think of an example, but whatever the key is that day, like if they're thinking about that rather than thinking about like I am just an absolute zombie right now, then to me like that's a win, and it was worth calling that out at the whiteboard.
What are your future challenges as a coach? Where do you see yourself in terms of your growth, your potential, um, and how does that relate to the gym as part of a team? Because you are growing and developing, but you're also probably mindful, just thinking about what we talked about the team's growth, which is the gym itself. How does that work for you, or what are you thinking about?
Yeah, I think it's 2 parts. One being like actual, cueing and progressing someone like a beginner to becoming like an intermediate to becoming, just continuing to progress and being able to like I'll watch some of the more like veteran coaches like, Dave and Bobby and Adams, everyone. I mean, I'm really one of the younger coaches at Bison along with like Kristen and Tara, so, like, I have a lot to learn in terms of, actually progressing a CrossFit athlete from where they start to where they want to get to. And then second fold would be, more of what I was just talking about, like trying to make the group feel more like together. And I think, I kinda shook off maybe the first whatever month's nerves that I had from coaching that I think all people get when they start. And then you can start like thinking about what you just said, like what can I start working on and how can I become better? Because you have to always try to get better as a coach, especially at Bison. There's just high standards here. Like you look around and there's just like, that person's a great coach. You just can't not be a great coach when you're here. So you have to keep thinking of things to get better. So I think, the coaching aspect and also the interpersonal aspect, like I need to learn more about each athlete and more about their lives if they're willing to share. I think that's what builds communities together a bit more.
Uh, Last question. What Name a workout or movements that is your favorite, and the movements or a workout that you find really challenging or difficult.
Um, I like workouts that don't have any weight in them. So like if there's no weight, then it's no problem for me. I could at least hold my own. If it's like something with like two dumbbell thrusters, that is like my Achilles heel. Like bad shoulders, bad front rack, bad thoracic mobility, and like weak legs. So like this Thursday's workout when I was on vacation, I saw it and I was like, "Oh man, I'm so happy I'm not there for that one."
That was the farmer carry one, or no? That was the which one was
No,
that?
I was on vacation, but it was like two dumbbell thrusters. Maybe it had like double unders in it.
Yes, the open workout. Yes, double
That was
unders, double dumbbell
terrible.
thrusters, and toes to bar.
Ugh.
Yeah, that was an open workout. You actually probably did it. I'm gonna look you up and see what your you're right. The double 50s, but it was only four, so it was one where everyone felt like they could take a shot at going a little heavier than normal. Uh, and then it was like what 28 double unders and then like six toes to bar. It's, obviously, you're really good at the rig. Uh, and then any body weight work, movement you do really well in. Whether it's running, you're always first in the door. Um, or burpee, any kind of cardio. And I wouldn't sell yourself short on the strength or heavy aspect. uh First of all, I know your mobility and your movement patterns are excellent. Just because you aren't 240 pounds does not mean uh you know you're not moving real weight. Like you really do. So I think you're very modest. I appreciate you being modest. That's a nice attribute to have for most CrossFit athletes. I know too many of them who think too highly of themselves. But I would say that's You are being hard on yourself. You move weight excellently, and I would like to see you do that double dumbbell thruster, double toes to bar. We're gonna do that. I did it on Thursday. We're gonna do. I'm gonna grab you on the weekend open gym, and we're gonna do that together at some point.
All right, I'll do it with you.
Anyway, any other thoughts? So, advice to it could be anyone, new athletes, coaches, yourself, Dave, for example, me to finish.
No, I mean, I think, if we want CrossFit to get into the direction that we want CrossFit to get into, which I think we all do, that's, we work here, you own a CrossFit affiliate, and like I think we need to, not wait for HQ to, fix things or get leadership the way that leadership, should be. And I think that we should create the culture that we want and, just kind of like, look in the mirror and improve every day on what we can improve on, what we can control. Um, that's really all I got, Sam.
That's really good. I've been talking to a bunch of people, and it reminds me, I just of previous week's episode with Maureen Boak, Mo.
Yeah.
She said something very similar about being the change that you want to see. I've heard that before, and that is uh, basically the opposite of a passive or victim's mentality. And she said the same thing when it was actually off recording. I'm mentioning it now because I really wish we had recorded that too, because it's the same thing you're saying. She said, because I said afterwards, you are always so positive and cheerful at the gym. You never have a frown on your face when you're working out, no matter how terrible. And she said, yeah, I learned that from my lacrosse coach in college. He said, don't be the cancer on the team or we'll cut you out. And
Yeah.
said, like, a bad attitude can be infectious. It can, like, you complain about a workout or a practice, and it can spread. And I think when I see you and others, again, never never looking terrible, never looking complaining, never looking, no matter what's going on in your life, you're always right there, like super positive. And I think you and Maureen, Mo, epitomize that. Like, be the change, be the positivity, be the person that you want everyone else around you to be. And that goes for affiliates. So thank you so much, Keith. I really appreciate it. Um, thanks for taking the time today. Did you work out yet? It's Sunday. Have you worked out already?
No, I'll probably go later or just save for tomorrow, but
Yeah.
not yet. I was
Thanks.
preparing.
I appreciate it very much. Thanks for taking the time, and I'll see you soon.